Welcome to Here Where You Belong, your go-to podcast for exploring belonging with your host and belonging expert, Dia Irby. We are thrilled to have you join us. Together, we'll dive into the depths of what it means for each of us to find our own place in the world, whether it's within our communities, our relationships, or within ourselves. Today's episode is meant to inspire, uplift, and remind you that no matter where you are or where you're headed, you have a place where you truly belong. So, grab a cozy spot and settle in. Welcome to Here Where You Belong.
Hello, awesome belongers. Welcome home to Here Where You Belong podcast. I have someone amazing for you to meet today who has 60 countries stamped in her passport, and her art is out of this world. Literally. I'm Dia, your guest. Get ready to be inspired and blessed. Let's welcome Aisha Makara. Hey, Aisha. So glad you're here today. Ooh, I've got a little bit more information about our guest. Buckle your seatbelts. She was born in Mongolia and orphaned at age 2, but now she's a world traveler, obviously, with 60 countries stamped in her passport. She was selected as an artist to send art engraved on golden plaques to outer space with SpaceX on January 3rd of 2023. I told you her art was out of this world. It was in collaboration with a Singapore-based company, Quomosis, or something close to that. You can look it up. She's the author of a recently published Joyful Living Guidebook, expounding on simple actions on how to stay joyful, centered, and vigorous in a fast-developing society. Her book includes pictures of Aisha's original works of art. That is an art collector's collector. She obtained a civil engineering degree from UIT, the Arctic University in Norway. She's all over the place, people. She founded a boutique hotel and property management company in Lisbon, Portugal, and manages over 30 properties. Lisbon is awesome. I've been there. She is a member of the Burning Man Global Village, attending 5 years as a participant, exhibitor, and community member. She's enjoyed a nomadic, free-spirited lifestyle in the U.S., traveling and selling her one-of-a-kind pieces of art out of a personalized van. She's participated, exhibited, and organized in over 30 art shows, leadership, and crypto conferences, festivals in Europe and across the U.S. Have we got some stuff to dig into? That is quite the details.
Wow.
Did I leave out anything? Do you want to add anything to
so
that?
much
Do you want to meet that person?
Here I am.
Wow. So this is Here Where You Belong. And where does belonging fit in there? I know orphaned at 2, there must have been something seeded in you that, a search for belonging, if that, or maybe you were young enough that it wasn't there. Or how do you belong in all these things? Tell us what belonging, your story.
Well, I even don't know where to start. I think when I was living in my, that time where I was being an orphan, it was in Russia, and very small village next to the border with Kazakhstan and Mongolia. And so for me, I didn't feel so much belonging over there because I was too happy, too joyful, always positive, always find solution, always looking forward, and always being so nerdy. And I started to learn English by myself when I started to read, and I was spending a lot of time in the library. And I remember I was seeing this English school and one of the magazines, and I wrote the letter to the school and telling them my story and telling them that I don't have money to buy, the course, so books and everything. They started to send me books for years.
Wait, time out. How old were you when you wrote the letter?
I was between 8 and 9, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, continue.
And yeah, so for me, I had a lot of friends. In the same time, I didn't have any friends, because I was a leader of the class, and I was always like a leader. Always like when I was a child, in an orphan. So first, of course, I was looking for my mom, and I was running away, and getting back. And after I just go explore, I was starting to hide myself. I'm going for the exploration, probably looking for her, but I couldn't go too far. Like adults were always getting me back. Eventually, I just used to that, and I started to just explore around, adventuring around. And this is how I started to kind of lead already in early age other kids. And I remember I was telling them, if you're going to continue to cry, I will not take you with me next time. Because me, I was not having need to eat or to like drink. I was always kind of adaptable. I was always knew like, okay, I can drink a little bit of water from here. I can go do like, I was very nomadic maybe from the early age. And when I started to go to the school and I learned how to read and write, I started to write my journaling. I started to journal myself, the what I'm experienced today, what I have done today. It was mostly like a facts in the beginning, but after I started to develop more deeper, and I was, as long as I remember myself, I always writing stories or like writing. Started to write novels and fairy tales. When I was reading a lot of fairy tales, I started to write fairy tales, a lot of them, and after I was writing novels, when I was reading the novels, so I understood like, oh, novels is just a fairy tale for the adults, about happy ending or whatever. They're like happily ever together. And for me, like it was always, I was learning from my own perspective, and I was sharing just with myself. I didn't share so much with other my ideas or my thoughts. And when I become a little bit older, I started to end up in a not good company. And like it's normal, I think, when you're like living in that environment. um, so I was 15, and when my friend that I was hanging out at that time started to die, and I was thinking, I was sitting in one of the funerals, and I was thinking like, would I survive until 18? And that day I created this idea until what I'm going to do until I'm 60. Now I have like the idea what I'm going to do until I'm 200. Now, like, that time of my life, I was thinking like 60 years is like a long life, and like I couldn't imagine like that would be a very long life. So I decided like between like 20 to 30, I'm going to travel around the world, and between 30 to 40, I'm going to be a businesswoman, and between 40 to 50, I'm going to be mentoring, and between 50 to 60, I'm going to be volunteering like a UNESCO or UN, just traveling and helping people, and I'm going to die. In the reality,
Planned out.
yes. In reality, I'm doing it. And the thing is like, I realize that is everything is just happening because maybe that, when I was 15, I was just making that decision, and I just started to live it, and I feeling like you can always rebrand yourself and change the reality the way you want it. Now last year I changed it until like, I think last year or year before, I changed it until 200 years for my different ideas, what I want to do, how I want to adventure around the world, how I want to leave the things behind, my legacy, and more other things that I getting more aware of or conscious about, what I want to, which my blueprint is going to be, how I want to create the reality I'm living, or that reality that I would like to live after I'm not here anymore. So like, of course, it's coming with I think with time, and with age, and after with like learning about life, about learning about people, about history, about other big identity, or like I call it them leaders of the world, that being before us and going to be after us. And I believe like what's stopping us to be a leaders of the world now, why we don't have a leaders anymore that we had before, like Gandhi, like Mandela, like
Mother
Disney, like
Teresa.
Walt Disney, like for me, all these people, they really could dream something different, and they commit their life to create that reality that nobody saw before they saw it, because these people committed their life to show them this world. That's why I was like asking myself, what it is to live joyful life? What it is actually started to invite people to live this joyful life. Because me going through all these experiences in my life as a loner, and not having parents, not having mother and father, not having idea of the belonging, because I was feeling like I always want to belong. And this is why I was not in this good company. When you're a teenager and you want to belong, that you, as a teenager, you have very strong feeling of being part of the company. You want to be with someone and want to belong. Like as a kid, you don't feel it so much. You kind of belong, you know. And I was getting more older, you want to belong somewhere. And in the environment where I grew up, it was very brutal, very harsh, very cold, like heavy. And I decided one day, like, it's not my environment. I get to leave this place and find my own, family where I belong to. And of course, I travel a lot. And, first I travel around Russia and Central Asia. And after I moved as an exchange student to Norway, that's where I finished my degree, work as engineer. And I feel very much belonging in Norway, speaking Norwegian, I learned Norwegian, and I feel very much like a family there. The thing is, was very cold. I just didn't like the weather. But society, the way society worked, the way like everything is set up for the people, it's just amazing. You're just getting so comfortable that it's not easy to leave, And for me, the comfort is, it doesn't serve you in the end. When you get into comfortable, it doesn't let you to develop more your potential, because everything is just so comfortable and it's just so easy to continue to grow somehow. And it's nice because in my case, I started to do more leadership roles, working. I become a leader of the Red Cross of North Norway. I've been a leader of many different kind of groups or communities, and naturally, it's just like a naturally started to kind of like unfold itself. And naturally, I feel like, okay. And at the same time, I didn't have this feeling of belonging. Even so, I have a lot of friends there. I'm very grateful for that. The thing is like, I didn't feel that it's something mine or I belong to. And I went for the traveling again, and I travel a lot to America, and a lot. First time I travel as a tourist, and I always loved the idea of being American happy, like every time joyful, and I like this very positive mindset. So when I was traveling in California. One day I decided to move to United States. And, I've been a little bit depressed in Norway. And I said to myself, why not to move to United States? So first I went to Ho'oponopono, did this course, Ho'oponopono, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And in Hawaii, and I was the only one very young lady in the room. And everyone coming to me is like, what are you doing here? And I said, I wrote this book. I read these books of this author, and he recommended to come and, to see the course. And I spent all my money to come here from Norway. And they were like, where is this Norway? Because everyone from America, and I'm only one were from somewhere Norway, literally from nowhere, from Norway. Anyway, and I was like this explorer, I didn't, even so I have very heavy childhood, like when kids are saying to you and bully you, oh, nobody loves you, nobody wants you, and this kind of thing. When you grew up, you want a feeling, you want to find this where you belong to. And eventually, of course, through all this my experience that I had through my life, I found this belonging here where I am now in Lisbon, in Portugal. This is my family. This is my home. It took me, of course, a lot of time. I discovered Portugal after Camino de Santiago. I did Camino de Santiago all the way, and discovered Portugal. And I just said, like, it's my country, it's my city, it's my family, it's my people here. Even so, I travel around the world. I always feel family everywhere I go, and always feeling I belong to absolutely anywhere. And my true belonging is here where I am now. And it took me, of course, a while after moving to America, being there for almost 5 years, come back right now and feeling that this is my home. I really want to have my base here. I really enjoy my base here where I am right now. And because I understood about time, I understood what I can create in this country where I am right now, and how much I can contribute here to the society. Even so, I can contribute a lot of things in any society, because any society welcome me with an open heart and open arms. The same time, I said to myself what I want to do, where I want to be. And because it's up to me, I get to decide. And at the end of the day, I get to be happy. That's where I am happy. Every morning I wake up, I'm happy. Even I just wake up at 10 a.m. or 7 a.m., it doesn't matter. I wake up happy being here where I am. So for me, even like I don't do nothing today, I'm still very happy. I'm not like judging myself or like fighting with myself, and I'm in true peace within myself. And this is how you know.
Yes, you belong in Lisbon.
Exactly, correct.
And I can tell that you have the life to back up the book you wrote. So that were you about to talk about the book?
So
Joyful. I mean, you're joyful. It's coming out through the screen.
so my book is called like Joyful Living Guidebook. I came with this idea after I've been selected as an artist, sending my art to the space, and I always living a dream. I always like creating different ideas, and I just go and live them. Of course, it's unfolding itself in their own way, and kind of like maybe sometimes not the way I imagine it. The things is I accomplish it. That's what matters. I made it. I went through this, and even so, it's not easy. Not easy experiences. When I send my art to the space, many things happen in my life. Like I was literally like. In the ground. There was no money, was nothing. My van was broken in. Everything was taken from me. Like I didn't have anything left. Just like I was nothing. Was no phones, nothing. And that's the first time in my life when I get to go and ask for support, because I'm always independent. I'm always can be take care of myself and be in my own. Know how to organize myself. Know how to live my life. Know how to travel and do my things. And here I am with no money, with nothing, and everything is just taken from me in the sec like in one day. And so I get to go and ask for support. And of course it's not easy when you don't have a document, you don't have anything. It's like with nothing you get to co-create yourself again or rebuild yourself again from the ashes. And this opportunity arrived for the sending my art to the space. And I said that's one of my dreams, because 2021, in the beginning of 2021 in January, I sent my art. I created art for Elon Musk, for Jeff Bezos, and for the Richard Branson, and I sent it to the offices, my original artwork to them, by asking Elon Musk to send my art to the space, asking Jeff Bezos to send me to the space to do art as a first artist astronaut, and I asked Richard Branson to paint his rocket like with my art. And so like an Elon Musk in this case, read probably my letter and receive my art. So he, some of this idea arrived, and this 50 years since the Pioneer 10 was sent to the space, it was the first, the golden plate. They did 50-year like a anniversary, and they selected 50 artworks from around the world. So they selected 2 of my artworks, and it's engraved in golden plates, and it's flying somewhere in the space right now. I'm very grateful for that. That's one of my dreams is accomplished again. And it's like when I moved to America after the Portugal, like I'm all over the places. But the things is like when I live in Portugal, and after I got again burnout, I moved to America, decided to be full-time artist. And in this case, I moved to Florida for the Art Basel to Miami. I want to be in Art Basel, Miami. So in 2021, I end up in my Art Basel, Miami, because that was my dream. And I understood I get to be in Miami to be there. Of course, I organized a lot of events. I always doing pop-ups. It was a lot of work to get there, where, COVID happened as well. So it's kind of like stopped me to be, to be there. And but it didn't stop me from the continue to dream and continue to create, continue live my life, continue to enjoy, continue to travel, and continue to be inspiration for other people, and continue to be example. And I feel like our life is it's a journey, and our life is a gift, and our life is a magic. When I live my life, I used to say to myself, oh, I made a decision actually, that my life is a fairy tale, adventure, and comedy, because it's all the perspective. Yes, we're all going through something. At the same time, it's up to us to decide how light we want to take it. Because I used to say, yes, it's normal when your dog died or cat died or your parents. It's normal cycle of life. It's up to you to decide how long you want to be sad, how long you want to, be in that sadness, or it's up to us, because how deep we want to go in that sadness. It's everything is just a decision that we make, because we have awareness and we have a choice to decide which emotion we want to invite and which emotion we want to let go. It's a practice, of course. It's a lot of practice to work. It's easy to say, it's not easy to do. And the reality, you have just one life. And up to us to decide how much we want to live, how many dreams and how many things we want to create in this one life, because our dreams become our goals. Like Walt Disney. When I look at the Walt Disney journey, he didn't live too long life. He lived like less than 60 years. The thing is, how much he create while he was here. And that is no limit, how much we can create while we're here. We don't know how long we're going to be here. The thing is, we can continuously create and continuously being inspiration for other and inspire and motivate other people by being us. Just continue just being us the way we are. And that's enough. It's more than enough. And
Right. Oh, this is all so good, but we're going to take a quick little break here and be right back with the amazing Aisha Makara. Yes, I said it. Okay, be right back. Hey there! Isn't my guest amazing? So glad you joined us today. In this world that often feels disconnected, building community and fostering belonging are essential. That's why I created this podcast, to bring inspiring people to you, to encourage you to create that sense of belonging and community, no matter where you are. If you're being blessed by my guest, and we have some more, like, subscribe, and share this podcast. You know who needs to hear this. Stay connected, stay true to yourself, and always remember, you belong. Now, back to our amazing guest. And we're back with the energetic, dream-filled, amazing Aisha Makara. Yes, I didn't call you Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. I love it. Hakuna Matata. It was my favorite. Timon y Pumbaa.
So I did want to ask, do you have all those journals, all those stories you wrote? Do you have those somewhere that you can go back and see what you wrote?
I burn it.
What?
All of it. Yes.
There's got to be a story in there.
Yes, I mean, it was a moment of my life when I started to read this to other people, and I didn't receive like a positive. Everyone was laughing at me and making jokes, and one day, one of my journals, somebody took it and kind of like being mean and started to take the pages away and just laughing at me and doing this like painful things, I would say. And I just grabbed everything one day and I just burned everything that time of my life. And yes, I still do journaling. I still journal.
Okay, good.
Still journaling. I continue journaling. I just don't write so much stories. I was writing like as an adult a little bit a while ago, and my stories was a little bit sad, like depressed. And when I'm remembering them, and I didn't save them again. And the thing is like I saw my friend. I was like, when I moved to Norway, had a laptop or like a laptop, and I give it to my friend, and all my writings was there. And I come back for just pick up my things. I remember like after, I don't remember, some months, and I asked her like, where's my laptop? And she said, I sold it. And I said, because you give it to me, you said to me it's like I'm gifting it to you, so I decided to sell it. And I asked her like, did you save like the
back up the information,
something like that? And she said, no, you didn't tell me to save anything, so I just didn't do that. And so there's some things I'm like a little bit the way I am. That's the reality. My art is right now somewhere in New York, Florida, Los Angeles, is everywhere where I was. My art is right now there. Right now, my art is also here in my background. A little bit I create because I decided I always can create, because until I'm here, I can continuously create. So it's okay. Other people can have it. Maybe one day when I'm not here anymore, people will make a lot of money. Who knows?
So the word that's coming to mind about you and your life, among others, is resilience. There are so many people who would give up with a number of events that have happened in your life. and just say, well, forget this. Life isn't worth living. But you are resilient. You keep on. Your energy is contagious. And it's amazing. I feel so honored to get to have you on the podcast. And on the second half of our podcast, I usually ask, what do you see as your greatest accomplishment?
My greatest accomplishment, I think, first accomplishment, I think that when I actually moved from Russia to Norway, even so I didn't speak English, like my English skills was, even so I was learning, I didn't have practice opportunities to practice it, and was a real person. And when I moved to Norway, like I got to learn Norwegian language, and like actually started to study and work and everything. That was, I think, one of my first accomplishments. And when I sent my art to the space, that's been one of the first artists in the world who sent art to the space, and still like living artist, very young.
Right.
And
what gave you that idea? What gave you that idea to pursue that dream?
I don't know. I just because one of the things, because I was working with kids that time of my life, and I always kind of like to be creative with them, and I like to work with kids because they're giving you different ideas and kind of like helping you to think like outside of the box, be more free.
Totally. They don't have a box.
And they don't have a box, and I'm like a kid, I'm like, I don't have a box, and people like have a struggle to put me in a box, and I'm like, don't struggle, please, just accept me the way I am. That's it. And so that idea come probably from the kids I was working with some time, and I just create my own like ideas, and I kind of like mixing them all together, and I just created like, and my artist friends were asking like, how did you get to this idea? How did you like come with this idea? And I said, that was my one of the things I created. The funny things, right now, like Blue Origin sending the art, creating the first art gallery on the moon. And I'm feeling like I was one of the probably inspiration, because when I wrote the letter to the basis, I wrote about that as well. What about to have an art gallery? And it's good. Like for some people would say like, oh, you get to be more not sharing your ideas. And I say, I prefer to share my ideas, and people who has money have opportunity to get to go and create this idea and make more money, because it's all about the abundance. And I trust that somehow by just sharing these ideas to the world and with the world, it will somehow will come back to me in such a way that I even don't know. And this is why I continuously sharing any ideas I have with other human beings, and it's up to them to make something out of that or not, because I'm just one human being. I don't have time of creating all the ideas that I have. And
right.
I can just
you can't do everything you think
my
of.
dreams. I get to just live my dreams and creating what is connected to my dreams that I'm living this lifetime. And at the same time, the ideas always bombarding my head, and I'm always sharing these ideas with other human beings. I don't have any issue that they can take it something from being inspired and creating something out of that and making money something out of that. I'm so happy, and so happy for them. And like, I'm just like, yeah, somebody is taking these ideas to the next level. I'm grateful.
Well, and you are like a volcano erupting of ideas. If somebody takes an idea you came up with, no problem. There's 600 more coming up to be erupted.
This is my art.
Yes. So I look at creativity as a muscle. And people, when you're a child, you can be creative. You see things, you see animals in the clouds. You can say, oh, look at the teddy bear. But then we don't exercise our creativity. So that muscle atrophies. And by the time we're, maybe even 20s, that you haven't exercised your imagination, your creativity. You've just kind of fallen into the rut of life as everyone else lives it. That is not you. You have continued to explore, to travel, to take in inspiration from all around the world, to be open to ideas that come to you, and then do something with it. It's amazing, and everyone should be inspired and blessed and encouraged from your story, and it's just great. Another question that I ask is, in a small couple of sentences, maybe, because we talked a lot about your belonging story, what is it that makes you feel like you belong?
I feel like what makes me feel belong is just to be here and being in the planet Earth. I feel like we're all one and we're all here to create this oneness and this we get to connect deeper within ourselves to feel that belonging, that we really belong to the planet Earth. And it's our work to make this planet Earth better. And by being ourselves better, and by creating this idea of our own better, what it is to be a better human being, what it is to be a better a woman or better man. I'm just feeling like when everyone in the planet Earth started to think what it is to be better and started to work towards the better self, I feel like the world will be a better place. The world will be with no war, with no all of this issue that we have, because I feel like more I'm traveling, more I understand that it's the same things everywhere in the world. It's the same, it's just a different decoration. I call like a decoration.
People are people.
People are people. They have the same thing. They also women, like young women, dreaming about having a prince or whatever, or like dreaming about to have this dream job or being this amazing model or whatever. And I'm just feeling like everyone has a different ideas of themselves, and they're just working towards them like a better self. The thing is, I'm just inviting people to think what it is to be a better human, not like idea that I'm going to be the best model or best actress or best whatever, like be a best human being, what it is to be a best human being for the planet Earth, for each other, how we can feel the family by being together in the moment, how we can feel the belonging while we're sharing the moment together. And I'm feeling like we don't need to think too much. We get to just be, and that's it. It's already enough.
That is a profound statement. We just need to be. And you can feel like you belong when you help people be. And belong starts with the letter B, so maybe there's something there.
No. Exactly, because I feel like while we're here, I look at our life as a puzzle. Like older we like, or like I don't call it like wiser we become, we're understanding better our puzzle, and we started to kind of see more clear who is who and what we're creating, what we create, why we're creating. We can see a deeper or more clear our purpose and our message that we want to deliver to the world. And I'm feeling like by being authentic ourselves, we understand that we already belong to the planet Earth itself, because planet Earth carrying us until now or until today, because we're important here, because planet Earth needed us for something. And that's why we're still here. And that's why we can create anything we want, because planet Earth want us to live a best, whatever best we create. And
totally.
Everything is connected. I believe like everything is connected in this amazing planet or amazing reality that we're living in. And I feeling like we get to be open and like open-hearted and open, like ready for hugs, giving hugs or something like
right.
that.
Which sounds a lot like your favorite quote. You said, in quotes, if you can dream, you can do it. Anything's possible. Open your heart and your mind here and now, end quote. Everything you've said, it backs that up. Did you make up that quote or did you find it somewhere?
Well, the part of anything is possible and open your heart, and your mind is I created myself. The if you can dream it, you can do it. It's from the Walt Disney. He used to say that that anything like that if you have imaginary, you can have that opportunity to create it. And he's one of my inspiration because he was kind of like a little bit harsh in some ways. And at the same time, he was a big dreamer, and he was not just a dreamer; he was also a doer. The thing is, in his life, he was so lucky that he has his brother, who was the person who ground him and who can who can put his ideas to the numbers, I would say.
Right.
And I'm right now creating this person into my life who can put my ideas into the numbers and and actually moving them forward with the things that I want to create for the humanity next. And it's a process as anything else. I believe like everyone lucky in some way, and we just get to um, be aware when we want to make that decision to commit ourselves to something bigger than ourselves, and not just like commit for like 6 months, commit our life. Like I'm ready to die for that. That's what happened with Nelson Mandela. He's in front of me here in the picture. Like that's what happened with Gandhi. That's what happened with Walt Disney. That was happened with many like amazing leaders. They committed their life towards their vision and the mission that they had.
They knew their purpose.
Exactly.
And they went for it. Wow, so much and so many more angles we could go at everything that you've learned, and you're sharing your wisdom and your tips and your energy and your enthusiasm. Everybody needs to start exercising their creativity muscle and get out there and find out what it is you're about and why in the world are you here. There is a reason, and you have something to offer. As we close now, Aisha, is there any final thing, any final words you want to give our listeners?
Listeners can always find me on my website, Aisha.today, is AISHI.today, where they can also book the call with me. I do mentorship for one-on-one mentorship. I have a group mentorship as well. And they can also find my book, Joyful Living Guidebook, on Amazon. It's published on Amazon. Oh, it's like on Amazon right now. And I always welcome people in any walks who wants to have a conversation with me. They can always book the time with me and have this a little bit time of joy with me.
It will be a little bit of time, but a whole lot of joy.
Exactly.
And it's AISH, A or I?
A, yeah.
A.today, not .com, not .org, but today. Awesome. It has been a pleasure. And thank you for joining me from the other side of the world. It's been great. So believers, belongers, stay connected, stay true to yourself, and always remember you belong. This is Dia Irby, your host at Here Where You Belong, signing off. Bye now.
Bye for now. Joyful living.
Thanks for tuning in to Here Where You Belong. We hope today's episode has inspired you to embrace the beauty of belonging in your own life. Remember, no matter where you are or where you're headed, you have a place where you truly belong. Join us again next time for more insightful conversations and heartwarming stories. Until then, stay connected, stay true to yourself, and always remember that you belong.